Daniel Ricciardo reveals demand to teammates as Renault unveil new car for 2019 F1 season. Ricciardo has joined Renault from pit lane neighbors Red Bull ahead of what is set to be another enthralling F1 campaign. And racing fans have just got their first look at the car the Australian and Nico Hülkenberg will be driving this year, the R.S.19. Following on from last season's design, have gone for a predominantly black livery with plenty of yellow detailing. And Ricciardo can't wait to get started, having spent the past 5 seasons racing for one of F1's big 3, Red Bull. Renault has a massive history in motorsport, so to be part of the next step of their Formula One journey is an exciting challenge, said. I'm here to do a job on track and drive as fast as possible, but I would like to bring the team energy. I want to put a spring in every one step because that's part of my job and also my character. I aim to be able to get the team to work that extra bit harder, put in more effort and rally everyone together. I'd like to be a catalyst for positive energy. Ricciardo will get behind the wheel of the new Renault for the first time when pre-season testing takes place in Catalonia. Speaking at Tuesday's unveiling in Instone, Renault F1 Managing Director Cyril Abiteboul said he is looking forward to the team continuing their rapid rate of development. We go into this season aiming to keep our strong and measured momentum, Abiteboul said. We do not target X or Y position or a number of points. What I want to see is that the team continues its trajectory of progression towards the top teams. Engine excellency will be our priority and very while the structure now in place in Instone strives to improve the competitiveness of the chassis, season after season. Ricciardo will drive alongside this year, having replaced McLaren-bound Carlos Sainz. And he will be looking to make his mark next month when the new season kicks off with the Australian Grand Prix. Ricciardo is not expected to battle the likes of Red Bull, Ferrari and Mercedes for the title this year. However, Renault are keen to challenge for glory in either 2020 or 2021. Ricciardo was 6th in the standings last season, 238 points adrift of champion Lewis Hamilton. So he, and indeed Renault, have plenty of ground to make up if they are to better his results at Red Bull and compete for the World Drivers' Championship. Next news: Fernando Alonso, McLaren director Gil de Ferran makes admission over potential F1 return. Alonso called time on his F1 career last November, having endured another disappointing season with also Rans McLaren. And he is now pursuing his goal of claiming motorsport's Triple Crown, with just Indianapolis 500 glory needed to complete the set tongues wagging, though, by visiting McLaren's F1 headquarters in Woking over the weekend. The 37-year-old posted pictures from the team's Surrey base on Instagram, including one of his car from last season. And that came as he was tipped to drive from McLaren and pre-season testing in Catalonia later this month. Alonso's input could have a big influence on the way McLaren set up their 2019 car for Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris. However, de Ferran admits McLaren are none the wiser about the two-time champion potentially getting involved in testing. We do not know yet, we'll see, de Ferran told Spanish newspaper, when asked if Alonso is set to help his team. De Ferran did, however, hail Alonso following his recent victory at the 24 Hours of Daytona race. I have always said that for me Fernando is one of the best drivers in history, and his victory at Daytona underscored that once again, de Ferran added. An incredible driver. Alonso hinted last week that he could return to F1 in 2020, saying, I always said it is see you later, not goodbye. Now I have new challenges to face with the right tools to win, while in Formula One there were no conditions to do the same. I do not have plans for 2020. Of course, winning a third title would be the greatest joy. Motorsport expert Tony Jardine believes Alonso will be regretting his decision to walk away from F1. It will always be in his mind because he'll be looking at Formula One, and he's still at the top of his game. That's the sad thing, and he'll be thinking, I could have beaten him, Jardine exclusively told Express Sport, when asked if retiring will weigh on Alonso's conscience. But he just needed a decent car, but wrong place, wrong time, wrong managerial decisions. Those decisions go back to when he's in a plum drivat. He throws his toys out of the pram in 2007 because he thinks Hamilton is getting the better treatment and he decides to leave. That's him and his manager, Flavio Briatore, and he goes back to Renault. Renault were already on a downward slope, so he spent 2 years in the backwater then. What a curious, stupid decision. Okay, gets into Ferrari, nearly, wins, but all those years of being the bridesmaid are very frustrating. He showed his incredible talent because the Ferrari wasn't a great car, but yeah, he could win with it. And he is lost to Formula One. It's sad that we don't still have him and he's just going to be a journeyman doing a bit of sports cars, Indy 500, whatever he fancies. Next news: Daniel Ricciardo, Red Bull chief reveals why losing F1 star to Renault is not a problem. Ricciardo announced his shock decision to quit Red Bull for their pit lane rivals way back in August last year. But he drove out the 2018 campaign with them and was blocked from taking part in winter testing with Renault in Abu Dhabi. Was snapped in a Renault race suit for the first time last week and will be eager to beat his old team this season. Some have suggested Red Bull will rule out tying down Ricciardo to keep him driving alongside Max Verstappen. Red Bull team principal Horner, though, believes the 29-year-old's departure is not a problem. And that is because can help the team as they look to improve their car going forward. I do not think so, Horner said, when asked if the loss of Ricciardo will harm Red Bull from a development perspective. Max knows what he wants from the car and his feedback is very clear. Behind the scenes, he works very hard, in the simulator. Daniel do not like this part of working with the engineers. Verstappen is constantly on the lookout for details. Ricciardo will race in his new Renault for the first time at his home Grand Prix in Melbourne. And he will be seeking to lay down a marker at the Albert Park circuit, where he finished 5th last year. However, Renault F1 Managing Director Cyril Abiteboul insists there is no pressure on Ricciardo this season. I don't see us suddenly in a position to fight for wins or fight for the championship, Abiteboul said. That is not what we have told him, and he has been clear about that too. Anyone can think what they want about the roadmap that we have defined, but I think it is already quite aggressive as a roadmap. Anyone who knows enough about appreciates that the gap we have to the top teams will take some time to be absorbed. Daniel has only increased the chances to stick to the roadmap, which is to fight for wins by 2020. Ricciardo will be partnered by Nico Hülkenberg, who has driven for Renault since 2017. And he is eager to work with his new team, having seen their car for 2019 unveiled at Instone on Tuesday. Renault has a massive history in motorsport, so to be part of the next step of their Formula One journey is an exciting challenge, Ricciardo said. I'm here to do a job on track and drive as fast as possible, but I would like to bring the team energy. I want to put a spring in every one step because that's part of my job and also my character. I aim to be able to get the team to work that extra bit harder, put in more effort and rally everyone together. I'd like to be a catalyst for positive energy.